Hey everybody, how's it going? This is Sam with DB Spa Repair, and in this SmarTouch video, we're going to go over on how to program the time of day, set the filtration cycles, as well as go over what silent mode is and how to turn that on. So let's get started. So first things first, we're going to want to go ahead and set the time of day on your control system, and it's very important that you do, so that way your filtration cycles and silent mode will turn on at the right times and not turn on the times that you don't want it to turn on. So to set the time, you press and hold the temperature down button or the time button for a few seconds until the screen starts flashing. Now it's going to display the default time of 12 p.m. and it's going to have your hour selected first. From here, you press the temperature down button or the time button to scroll one direction, and then the temperature up button to scroll the opposite direction. So when you're programming the hours, there is an AM and PM, and it's very important to pay attention if you're setting it for AM or PM, otherwise everything will not going to work correctly. So if you press down from 12 p.m. to 11 a.m., you'll see there's an AM icon that displays on the left hand side of the screen. And when you see AM, that's telling you that you're programming for the AM hours. And if you go from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m., the AM icon will actually disappear from the left hand side of the screen, and that's telling you that you're programming for the PM hours. So just be mindful when you're programming the time of day for your control system. Now the other SmarTouch Digital top sides will have an AM LED light to indicate that you're in the AM hours. And you can see here the light is actually on, and then when I go to 12 p.m. the light will turn off. So in these particular top side keypads, the AM light on means it's in AM, with the AM light off means you're in PM. Now we're going to actually set the time of day, and for this example we're going to want to set it for 9:30 a.m. So we're going to hit the temperature down or the time button until we get to 9 a.m. and then hit the set button, and that'll take us over to program the minutes for the clock. Setting the minutes for the clock is the same as changing the hour. You press the temperature up button to count up on the minutes, or you press the temperature down or time button to count backwards on the minutes. You can also press and hold either the up or down button to quickly scroll through the minutes. In this case, we'll go ahead and set it to 30 to set the time for 9:30, and then hit the set button. You'll automatically will be exit out of that screen. Then it'll go back displaying the temperature of the water, and once in a while it'll show the time of day. Now we're going to go ahead and start programming the filtration cycles for your spa. What I do recommend is actually setting up 2 filtration cycles, one in the morning and one in the evening, for at least 1 hour to maximum of 2 hours. You don't really want to have it run more than 2 hours, otherwise you could actually start overheating your spa. So to enter the menu to actually set your filtration cycles, what you're going to want to do is hit the time button or the temperature down button, followed by the set button, and push them at the same time, and it will take you to FP1, and that stands for Filtration Program 1. So from here in this menu, if you hit the temperature up button, it'll let you go to FP2, FP3, and FP4. You can actually set up to 4 different custom filtration cycles for this control system. Like I said, I only recommend setting up 2, and that's actually more than enough for your spa. From FP4, if you press the temperature up button one more time, it'll take you to SIL, and that stands for silent mode. I'll actually explain more on how to program silent mode and what it does later on in this video. So we're going to quickly go through the rest. So if you press the temperature up button again, it'll take you to FP1D, FP2D, FP3D, FP4D, and what the D stands for is the duration and how long you want the filtration cycles to run for. So we'll go ahead and start programming our filtration cycles now. I'll explain a little bit more on what the duration means here in a bit. So at FP1, we're going to want to push the set button, and it's actually going to display 12 p.m. You can see it's similar to setting up the time of day. So you can press the temperature down button or the temperature up button to scroll through the different times. So for this example, we're going to go ahead and program it for 8:15 a.m. So we're going to press the down key till we hit 8. Then we hit the set button to program the minutes. And then we're going to go to 15. Then hit set again. It's going to take you back to FP1, and you just finished programming your first filtration cycle. So let's go ahead and do that for the second one as well. Alright, so let's go ahead and go to FP2 by pressing the temperature up button, and we're going to hit set, and this time we're going to want to set it for 8 p.m. and to go to 8 p.m. we just scroll up from here from 12 p.m. until we hit 8. And remember, as long as you don't see the AM icon on the left hand side of the screen or on the other SmarTouch Digital keypads, as long as the AM LED lights turned off, that means you're programming for the PM hours. So let's continue here. Let's hit the set button to program the minutes, and and we're going to scroll to 15 for it to be 8:15 p.m. Hit set and you're done programming your second filtration cycle. Now that we have your first and second filtration cycle set, we're going to want to tell the control system for how long we want the first and second filtration cycles to run for. So we're going to scroll up by using the temperature up button to FP1D. Once at FP1D, hit the set button and you'll be greeted with a screen that will read 00. So the way setting the duration works is you actually set the number of minutes you want that duration for that filtration cycle to be. In this case, it's reading 00, which means it's not going to run at all. It's essentially disabled. So if you use the temperature up button to scroll through, you'll see you'll be adding numbers, and those numbers actually represent minutes. So in this case, we want to set it for 1 hour, we'll set it for 60 minutes. If you want to set it for 2 hours, you set it for 120 minutes. And then you hit set, and that's how you program the duration for a filtration cycle. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and program the duration of your second filtration cycle. So just hit the temperature up button to go to FP2D, hit set, and then just set the minutes to 60. I'm just going to go ahead and quickly speed the video here. And this is how you set the duration for your second filtration cycle. So at this point you're pretty much done. So let's go ahead and save your settings. So to save your settings is pretty simple. What you're going to do is scroll down until your screen displays send and then hit the set button. What send means is going to save all the settings you have made to the system when you're programming the filtration cycles as well as the duration. One thing to keep in mind while you're programming your filtration cycles, if you do not push any buttons within 10 to 15 seconds while you're programming, the system will automatically exit and it's not going to save any of your settings that you have made. If it does that, you'll actually have to go back and redo everything. So it's very important when you're finished programming your filtration cycles, you go to send and then hit set to save the settings. So one thing real quick I want to touch on, if you ever accidentally go into programming and you don't want to make any changes, if you actually scroll to where it says CANC and you select that, it's just going to exit out of the menu and it's not going to save any settings that you have changed. So that's pretty good. If somebody accidentally pressed the combination to go into a programming, just keep scrolling till you see cancel and then hit set and you'll exit out of that. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and talk about the last portion of this video, which is silent mode. What silent mode is, it's a mode that actually puts your spa on silent. So let's say for example during the middle of the night you do not want to hear the spa heating or filtering, you don't want to hear it at all or do anything at all because you don't want to hear it or you don't want to bother the neighbors. So what silent mode will do is you actually program the number of hours that you don't want it to be on, and it's actually going to put the spa on standby and it's going to disable everything until it get past those certain hours, and then it'll start doing everything as far as the filtration, heating, purge, and all that good stuff. So this part of the video you don't have to follow if you don't want to turn on silent mode. Again, this is only for people who actually need the spa to be quiet during certain times during the day or night. So again, you don't have to program silent mode. You can just skip through this part if you want to. Alright, so let's get to programming silent mode. So we're going to go scroll until we see SIL, which stands for silent. Push set, and it's going to take us to a screen where we're going to program the time for silent mode to turn on. So we're going to actually set it for 12 a.m. for this example. So we're going to go to 12 a.m., push set, just leave the minutes at 00, hit set again, and now what we're going to do is we're going to push the temperature up button till we see SILD. Alright, so let's hit the set button and we'll be entering into a screen that will read 00. So programming the duration is a little different than programming a filtration cycle. The duration only goes up to a maximum number of 12, and that's actually 12 hours. So from digits 1 to 12, each one of those digits represent the number of hours that silent mode will be on for. So if you set for 1, it'll be for 1 hour, 2 for 2 hours, 12 for 12 hours. So in this case, for this example, we'll set it for 9, so silent mode will actually be turned on for 9 hours. So once we reach 9, let's go ahead and press the set button. You'll automatically be exit out of that screen and return back to the main menu for the programming, and then scroll down to send, hit set to save your settings. Alright, so I hope this video was helpful for you. We learned how to set the time of day, set the filtration cycles, as well as setting silent mode and explain what that is. So with that said, please like and subscribe. I am planning on making other videos for the SmarTouch Digital system, so please hit the notification button to be notified when those videos are released. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave in the comment section and I'll do my best to get to them. Thank you.